Christianity, the world's biggest religion with over 2 billion members. The books and dogmas promise salvation and everlasting peace. But the religious texts also tell of unspeakable darkness, creatures of nightmare, damnation, and eternal torment. So, for you, I have combed through the texts, scrolls, shrines, and ancient libraries to uncover the 5 scariest entities connected to Christianity. Please note, this video is purely for entertainment. This channel in no way intends to promote Christianity, nor does it intend to mock it. It's purely for the love of all things horror. Speaking of, if you love horror and true crime, please think about subscribing to the channel. We offer the best in both, and your support would mean more than you know. The Nephilim. Mentioned in only a few lines in the book of Genesis, it is written, "The sons of God saw the daughters of men and took them. And from those unions came beings unlike anything else, the Nephilim." Many religious scholars ascertain the sons of God refers to angels, and given that they are engaging in acts later described in the text as an affront to divine law, we can reasonably surmise that they were fallen angels, not the kind with the white wings and halos. The Nephilim are described in the Bible as mighty men of old, men of renown. Ancient traditions describe them as giant, monstrous beings that make humans look like insects. The word Nephilim has close relation in ancient languages to meaning fallen, implying that the Nephilim are the fallen. Their very existence is described as a rebellion against heaven. Some scholars even link the creation of the Nephilim to be the catalyst for God's decision to later flood the world and start anew. The Nephilim are ancient beings that predate the flood, predate the New Testament, but with all that said, something very interesting happened in the first decade of this century. In the mid-2000s, it was reported on U.S. radio that in 2002, in the mountains of Kandahar, Afghanistan, a U.S. Special Forces task force engaged in combat with a 12 to 15-foot tall, red-haired giant, said to have 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 2 rows of teeth, and was dressed in crude animal hide. An alleged witness to the event said that a giant wielding a huge spear charged the task force, impaling and killing a soldier named Dan. It then took 30 seconds of sustained automatic gunfire from M4 carbine rifles and Barrett M107 anti-material rifles from the others to bring the giant down. Its body was reportedly then airlifted back to a U.S. military base for study. When this story broke, many people instantly went to Nephilim. The description fits. The area of the world is ancient. Did the U.S. military stumble on a surviving Nephilim in the mountains of Afghanistan, and are there more out there? Abaddon. Mentioned in the book of Revelation, Abaddon is described as the fallen angel of the bottomless pit and the king of locusts. He is one of only a handful of demonic entities actually described in the Bible. In Revelation 9:11, Abaddon is described as destroyer, the angel of the abyss, and as the king of a plague of locusts resembling horses with crowned human faces, women's hair, lion's teeth, wings, iron breastplates, and a tail with a scorpion stinger that torments for 5 months anyone who does not have the seal of God on their foreheads. Different texts all have differing opinions on Abaddon and his roles. Biblical scholars are split on whether Abaddon is a demonic fallen angel who wants to destroy God's work, or is he an angel of the Lord, tasked with the judgment and destruction of the enemies of heaven? Later medieval texts on demonology describe Abaddon as a high-ranking prince of hell. Some have him second only to Lucifer. Some even describe him as on par with Lucifer in terms of power and position, but he cares only for destruction where Lucifer wants to rule. Regardless of his station or his purpose, meeting Abaddon surely isn't on anyone's bucket list. The Seven Princes of Hell and the Seven Deadly Sins. In the 16th century, German theologian, world-renowned witch hunter, and Catholic bishop Peter Binsfeld published a list of the 7 higher demons of hell and their associated sins. While not directly biblical, the list was ratified by the Vatican and up until as late as the 20th century was canonized as religious doctrine. Binsfeld's list is as follows: Lucifer, pride; Mammon, greed; Asmodeus, lust; Leviathan, envy; Beelzebub, gluttony; Satan, wrath; Belphegor, sloth. Lucifer was the brightest and most beloved of all of God's angels, until he led a rebellion against heaven and was cast down, first of the fallen, ruler of hell and its armies, and the antagonist to heaven, when the day of judgment arrives. Mammon, mentioned in the Gospel of Matthew in the New Testament. He was the literal personification of money. Humans who strived for money and wealth were seen to be worshipping Mammon, and therefore were going against God. Asmodeus, in Jewish tradition, he is seen as the king of all demons. Christianity demoted him to crown prince. They didn't, however, remove any of his power. Often referred to as the Lord of Lies, Asmodeus excels at tempting humans into sinful acts and is credited with corrupting more humans away from God than even Lucifer. Leviathan, a sea creature mentioned in the book of Genesis. A creature so huge its very name became a word to describe something bigger than comprehension. The Leviathan was said to be a creature created in the very early stages of when God was creating the earth. It was so huge and hungry it was eating the world itself, so God cast it into the underworld. Beelzebub, known as the Lord of Flies, he is referred to by many titles. A prince of demons, mentioned in Mark 3:22. Jesus casts out demons from a town and is accused of using the power of Beelzebub, prince of demons, to do it. He is also seen as one of the 3 most prominent fallen angels, alongside Lucifer and Abaddon. In some texts, Beelzebub is said to have led a successful revolt against Lucifer and took the throne of hell. Satan, usually another name for Lucifer or the devil, in Binsfeld's list, Satan is most likely used to specifically describe the uncontrolled anger of Lucifer. In the book of Revelation, the wrath of God is mentioned, and so is the wrath of Satan. Religious scholars believe this could mean the sheer anger and hate that hell holds for humanity. Belphegor, a high prince of hell known as the demon of invention and discovery. It is said that Belphegor can find anything that exists and uses riches to seduce humans away from the path of heaven. It is thought by some that the idea of humans selling their souls originated with Belphegor. Moloch. If you've ever heard the story of Moses, when he found the Israelites worshipping the golden idol of a bull, that bull is Moloch. Usually depicted as a giant man with the head of a bull, Moloch was an ancient Canaanite deity that was sometimes worshipped by Israelites. According to the book of Leviticus, this particular deity demanded regular and ritualistic child sacrifice, amongst other horrific things. Over time, Moloch went from Canaanite demigod to demon prince of hell, appearing in the religious poem Paradise Lost as one of hell's most fearsome and terrifying warriors. The word Moloch is now used to describe a tyrannical power that seeks to subdue or sacrifice humanity. Angels of the Lord. Popular culture has angels personified as beautiful humans. Soft white feathered wings, halos of light, beauty beyond belief. But the Bible does not describe angels like this. The book of Ezekiel describes the cherubim angels as horrifying entities. They have 4 faces: human, lion, ox, and eagle. 4 giant wings and a twisted human-like body. Unlike the angels in the gift shop, the Bible does not tell of them whispering sweet messages of support or pulling people out of dangers. The biblical angels are protectors of heaven's treasures and holy shrines. Their only function is to utterly and completely destroy anyone or anything that would try to approach their charge. So much for the angel on your shoulder. You don't want these ones anywhere near you. So, maybe there's the part of Christianity, the part no one likes to say out loud. It promises salvation, light, hope, and escape from darkness. But you don't get one without the other, because if you truly believe in the light, you have to accept that the darkness is just as real. And buried deep within its ancient texts, between the comforting verses and familiar stories, are glimpses of something far more unsettling. Beings that shouldn't exist, judgments that wipe out entire worlds, forces that don't just tempt humanity, but corrupt it. So the question isn't just whether you believe in heaven. It's whether you're willing to face what else might be waiting in the shadows, right there in the same book.